Type it out. Or do you want to unmute? ठीक है. In the meanwhile, I'll just explain this. तो यहाँ पे we have previous lecture second last question. Why did I apply Newton's third law? यहाँ पे why did I apply Newton's third law? हाँ, I applied Newton's third law to say कि see यहाँ पे एक तो why, because it's Newton's third law is always, I mean, it's valid, and on top of that it gives me what I want. That's why I applied it. But what did I do? I said कि यहाँ पे ये जो liquid है ना? So as you can see with this plank, this liquid tends to move faster than the lower liquid. So because liquid A tends to move faster, liquid A is being pulled behind by liquid B. So F1 is the force on liquid A by liquid B. So liquid A is being pulled behind by liquid B. With what force is it pulled behind? We know that. We know कि B के कारण viscous force होगा eta B area into V dash minus O upon HB. Okay. And similarly, इसके लिए हम बोल सकते हैं force that A applies on B is eta A velocity difference V minus V dash upon HA. So we can individually write the viscous force by A on B and by B on A, and then we can equate the two forces by Newton's third law. Okay, this is Newton's third law. One of you is saying, sir, Newton's third law, दोनों force equal opposite है तो net force zero होता है. भाई, Newton's third law talks about forces on different bodies. There are forces on different bodies. F1 is on body A, F2 is on body B. They're not acting on the same body. कि तुम उसका resultant zero बोलोगे. It's an action reaction couple, yes. हाँ, लगा तो कहीं पे भी सकता है, बट अभी इसमें और किधर जरूरत नहीं पड़ा, कुछ निकाल नहीं रहे थे, इसमें निकालना था. देखो इसमें क्या है, मुझे ये वेलोसिटी चाहिए था, इसके कारण फोर्स डिपेंड्स ऑन दैट वेलोसिटी, इसके कारण भी फोर्स डिपेंड्स ऑन दैट सेम वेलोसिटी v dash. Okay, so I was in, sorry, yeah, so I was individually trying to where was I was individually trying to write these forces in terms of that velocity. Okay, and then by equating them we got the value of v dash. We got an equation involving v dash. तो y यूज किया, q यूज किया, वो I mean I think it's quite self explanatory. उससे आंसर निकला, v dash का वैल्यू आ गया. The forces involved v dash. And one of you is saying, why can we equate them? भाई, this is Newton's third law. जो भी force एक liquid दूसरे पे लगाता है, उतना ही force दूसरा liquid पहले पे लगाता है. Okay. Yes, I'll show my cat after class. Towards the end of class. But yeah, clear है doubt इसका. और एक बार, I hope you guys got that. एक बार 10 जल्दी से समझा देता हूँ. 10 में क्या सीन है? So you had this sail का area was A1. ठीक है? Equal कैसे है F1 and F2? भाई, Newton's third law. If I push someone, come on. Okay. If A pushes B with some force, doesn't B push A back with the same force? वहां से आ गया है ना. हाँ, cool. So F1 F2 are equal because of that. They are actually equal. That is fundamentally the case. वो यूज करके v dash निकाला है, but that should not come as a surprise to you कि they were equal. Okay. All right. Yeah. So now A1 is the area of the sail. A2 is the area of the bottom of the boat, okay, and the wind is striking the sail whatever with velocity v1. तुम्हें बोला है कि assume the molecules of that air they come to rest after striking the sail, assume they strike the sail perpendicularly, ये सब बोला है. तो ये सब सुन के पहले मैंने पूछा find the force applied by the wind. This sounds a lot like that question we did with thrust force in fluid mechanics. We have done it so many times. है ना, a liquid, a fluid goes and strikes a wall, fluid of density rho, and area A strikes a wall with velocity v, है ना, and after striking the wall it comes to rest. We know कि the thrust force in that simple case is rho A v square. We even know the formula to find thrust force in cases beyond that simple case. But फिलहाल in this case thrust force मैंने proper formula use करके हमने वापस derive किया कि indeed that thrust force is density into area into velocity का square. Density किसका? यहाँ पे air का density, velocity v1 air का velocity, area a1 area of the sail. So force by air on the sail is rho a v square, in this case sigma a1 v1 square. इतना force से boat is being pushed ahead. But अब देखो इसके साथ क्या हो रहा है? What is going to happen is as the wind starts pushing the boat, the boat's velocity starts increasing. Okay. Now viscous force is that unique force which actually depends on velocity. So starting में जब ये boat rest पे था and it just starts moving, as it just starts moving, the sail's velocity is 0, so therefore viscous force is 0. So just in the beginning the boat is experiencing hardly any resistance, तो इसका speed बढ़ने लगता है at a good rate, ठीक है, acceleration is decently high. But as time increases, as the velocity increases, corresponding to the velocity, I'm doing great, thanks. Corresponding to the velocity, the viscous force also starts increasing. As the viscous force starts increasing, ये backward force जब बढ़ने लगता है, our acceleration starts to decrease. आगे के direction में acceleration कम होता है. But as long as acceleration is greater than 0, velocity will keep increasing. As long as velocity keeps increasing, ये backward force keeps increasing. As long as backward force keeps increasing, acceleration keeps decreasing. तो एक point हो जाएगा कि acceleration कम होके एक point के बाद 0 हो जाएगा. Once your acceleration becomes 0, in fact, what will that situation be? That will be when your velocity increases to the point that this backward viscous force and this forward thrust force by the wind, they become equal. When they become equal, acceleration becomes 0, and this point forward velocity will not change. Velocity will stay constant. Yeah, A will tend to 0, and this point forward velocity will not change. Okay, so this is what we call as a final, the steady state, or sometimes we even use the word terminal, ant wala velocity, terminal velocity, steady state velocity. It's basically the velocity when everything is, when it becomes constant, when it stops to change. So you'll always approach it by this kind of algorithm. Velocity constant है, मतलब acceleration 0 है, मतलब force 0 है. तो force equate करो 0, मतलब आगे वाला पीछे वाला बराबर है. आगे वाला velocity of wind पे depend कर रहा था, पीछे वाला velocity of boat पे depend कर रहा था. Velocity of boat was the only unknown, तो यहाँ से velocity of boat निकल के आ गया. Okay. Okay, that was a good recap. Okay, with this we'll now move over. तो यहाँ पे actually sufficient questions on viscosity हमने किया है. I'll still say कि most of the questions on viscosity will be of, normally you'll just find, most of the questions on viscosity will be of this type. ये भी नहीं, sorry, ये type. ये type. This type. Simple. Plank है या boat है ना, and it's just moving and moving at some velocity, and they'll ask you to find force. Most of them are of this type, but then we have seen some variations. just to keep you prepared in case some variation comes in the advanced exam. Otherwise, normally you get very simple questions on this. Aditya, that's for later. I mean, maybe, may not be. We'll see. बाद में ही पता चलेगा. Yeah. Shivang, that's a good question. Shivang पूछ रहा है कि viscous force is due to cohesive and adhesive forces. If we increase the velocity, the boat is interaction with molecules would decrease eventually. Viscous force should decrease, so should. So I mean, it's not really that. I can see what you're trying to say. It's not really that simple why viscosity takes place. At the molecular level, it's due to breaking and forming of bonds. But I mean, honestly, I mean, this is just an observed fact that is found to increase with velocity. So, okay, that's a good question. Good thinking, though. Okay, and one of these things, so technically speed of boat is v1 because speed of air is v1, which is, that's not true. I mean, it's not. ये तब होगा जब पानी कुछ रेजिस्टेंस देगा ही नहीं. पानी रेजिस्टेंस दे रहा है ना, इसलिए बोट का स्पीड v1 तक पहुंच नहीं रहा है. To also take into account that the boat is experiencing resistance. All right, Stokes law. Okay, so now एक चीज समझो कि viscous, that's good Sumit. Viscous force जो है, it's not very simple, it's not always given by that formula. वो जो formula हमने अभी अभी देखा, ठीक है, this is actually valid when you have, actually हो क्या रहा है, you have layers of the liquid sliding one on top of the other. So you have parallel layers of liquid sliding on top of the other, parallel sheets of that liquid sliding one on top of the other. इस केस में अपना ऐसा फॉर्मूला आता है विस्कस फोर्स के लिए. बट इन रियलिटी है ना, बेस्ड ऑन द शेप ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्ट मूविंग, you'll have different types of different formulas for viscous force in different situations. All right, so if you have a ball going through a liquid, it's not going to create the same effect as the Planck was creating. The ball going through this liquid is going to make, you know, you can imagine it's going to make like concentric circles. ऐसे है ना, it is going to make rings of fluid around it move along with the ball. So it's going to create that kind of disturbance. Buoyant force आएगा, वो अलग बात है, but just can you imagine the disturbance that a moving ball through this liquid creates is going to be different. Similarly, if I change the ball with a cube, the disturbance a moving cube creates in a liquid is different. So now you start to understand that viscous force in different scenarios is actually quite complicated, and therefore is not even in your, it's not in your syllabus. In your second year, you will get to see viscous force in a few more cases. Like you'll get to see viscous force when water flows through a pipe, etc. But यहाँ पे, our entire study of viscous force is limited to two cases. One is the one we have already studied, Sada viscous force, like when a plank moves on the top of a liquid, and you know, the kind of disturbance it creates where one sheet is moving on top of the other, eta A delta V by delta H. That formula is that formula is viscous force in that context. You have another formula for the viscous force experienced by a spherical object moving through a liquid. There can be many more types of viscous force, but none of that is going to be in your syllabus. So you don't have to worry what will happen if a cube moves through a liquid, what will happen if a pyramid moves through a liquid. You don't have to worry about all of that. A cylinder moves through a liquid. You just have the previous formula we saw, and you have Stokes' law. Okay? And you will get to see a little bit more in your maybe your second year of engineering. So Stokes' law is when a spherical object of radius r moves through a liquid of viscosity eta. Okay, spherical object of radius r moving through a liquid of viscosity eta with a velocity v. When this happens, imagine you drop a ball into a lake and it's going down. So it's basically moving in a liquid of some viscosity with some velocity. When this happens, then at that instant, it experiences a force. It experiences viscous force. And a liquid does not like this ball moving down. So it's going to try and pull the ball up. So it experiences a viscous force proportional to eta rv. This can actually be proved by dimensions, but it's also observed experimentally. Okay? So it experiences a force proportional to eta rv, and the magnitude of the force is 6 pi eta rv. The magnitude of the force is 6 pi eta rv. So that is the formula for the force that this ball experiences. The direction is opposite to the velocity of the object. The direction is opposite to the velocity of the object. Now, for the most part, this force is actually observed experimentally. If you see in the HCV, you can see that he has arrived at eta rv by dimensional analysis. So if you read that, you can make sense of that. But even otherwise, it can also be done experimentally. So once they realize कि eta r और v पे कुछ depend करना चाहिए, then how they do it experimentally is they try to double eta. और देखते हैं कि अच्छा eta double करने पे force double हो गया, मतलब यहाँ पे eta raised to 1 आ जाएगा. फिर रेडियस को डबल करेंगे, रेडियस डबल करने पे भी फोर्स डबल हो गया, तो फिर एक्सपेरिमेंटली समझ में आता है कि अच्छा r raised to 1 होगा. वेलोसिटी डबल करो तो भी फोर्स डबल हो गया, तो वहां से समझ में आता है ना कि is proportional to v raised to 1. Then how do we get this constant? You won't be able to derive this constant. This is what we call as an empirical constant. This comes empirically. This comes by putting values and doing an experiment. The actual physics of what is going on, the kind of disturbance this is creating is very complex. Okay, so these results, and in fact, you'll find almost all your viscous force results, even when you do your engineering, you'll realize that all of those results are empirical. Experimentally, you derive and get constants. Okay, this force is not buoyant force. Buoyant force भी लगेगा, वो अलग बात है. मैंने इस diagram में buoyant force draw नहीं किया. This force is our viscous force. Okay, तो स्टोक्स लॉ बताता है कि एक फोर्स लगेगा, वो फोर्स का मैग्नीट्यूड है 6 पाई ईटा आरबी. ये तुम्हें बस रटना है. ठीक है, एक्सपेरिमेंटली 6 पाई आता है. दे विल गिव टेक सम नोन वैल्यू ऑफ ईटा आर एंड वी. दे विल कंडक्ट द एक्सपेरिमेंट. दे विल सी फोर्स कितना आता है, और एक बार पता चल गया फोर्स कितना आता है, then they realize कि अच्छा there is a constant 6 pi which is getting multiplied by eta r and v. Okay, and let me just see your doubts. Spherical नहीं होगा तो तुम solve नहीं करोगे, आएगा ही नहीं, out of syllabus. Your board is your all your the syllabus of your advanced exam is very specific. See, Stokes law is only for spherical objects. They specifically mentioned कि ये spherical के लिए ही valid है. Yes, only for a spherical ball. Okay. And this is eta into r. Okay, if you want to see what it is, it's this basically. It's not eta raised to r, it's eta into r. Viscous force is always going to be opposite the velocity. Viscous force is always going to be opposite the velocity. And one of you is asking, is this similar to viscous force? This is the viscous force. This is the viscous force in this context. Yes, Devain, yes, yes. Yes. Okay, and this is the viscous force in this context. Is the velocity constant? Need not be. This is the force at this instant. जब velocity change होगा, ये force भी change होगा. जैसे बोट वाले क्वेश्चन में भी है ना, वेलोसिटी चेंज हो रहा था, विस्कस फोर्स चेंज हो रहा था. यहाँ पे भी वेलोसिटी चेंज होगा, फोर्स चेंज होगा. कैन यू सी लाइक विस्कस फोर्स इन द प्रीवियस कॉन्टेक्स्ट हाउ दिस इज ऑपोजिट द मोशन एंड प्रोपोर्शनल टू वेलोसिटी? दिख रहा है? It's opposite the motion, is proportional to velocity. And another interesting is also proportional to eta. The more viscous the fluid, the greater the resistance. This is only only applicable for spherical objects. अगर और सबके लिए applicable होता है तो ये लिखता नहीं है ना मैं. Spherical object के लिए तुम सोचो यार, R किसके लिए defined होता है, क्या होगे? Is only applicable for spherical objects. Okay. Oh, and last note, yeah, one of you is asking, what is the difference between this force and buoyant force? Buoyant force arises because of pressure difference. बहुत ही अलग चीज है. अगर लिक्विड विस्कस नहीं है तो ये फोर्स होगा ही नहीं. अगर लिक्विड विस्कस नहीं है तो ये फोर्स होगा ही नहीं. buoyant force is because of pressure. ये फोर्स है because of forces along the surface, है ना? So as you can experience, you can expect the surrounding liquid to apply upward forces, tangential forces on this sphere as it's moving down. So the resultant of all those tangential forces is quite complex. Experimentally comes out to a very simple result. ठीक है, जो तुम्हें याद करना है. All right. Buoyant force अलग है. Buoyant force भी लगेगा इस पे. ये force simple. Everything you need is in this definition. It's always opposite the velocity of the object. How do we know that the liquid is viscous or not? भाई अगर viscosity of the liquid दिया ही नहीं है तो you'll assume it's not viscous. Simple. कोई भी question में if you don't see viscosity mentioned, you don't see eta का value given, you will not consider it. But if it is given, पानी के लिए भी दे सकते हैं, air के लिए भी दे सकते हैं. पानी के लिए भी दे सकते हैं, air के लिए भी दे सकते हैं. If it is given, you'll have to consider it. So the object could be moving in a gas. It could be falling in a gas. It could be a raindrop falling through the atmosphere. They'll give you eta of air. You'll have to use that. Blue line denotes the surface of the liquid. Well, this is just to show कि ये पानी के अंदर हो रहा है. Okay, done? Cool?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. एक minute. Someone mysteriously unmute. All right. Cool. So, मतलब this is in general properties of liquid, and this can be extended to gases as well. Gases को भी extend कर सकते हैं. Fluids के लिए in general you can use this result. All right, moving on. Let me just see if there's one doubt. Yeah, one of you said viscous force is non-conservative. Yes, viscous force and kinetic friction are non-conservative. Okay, remember that. Viscous force and kinetic friction. If you have not learned this in work energy theorem, at least remember viscous force is non-conservative. Yeah, they're quite similar. Now, yes, Yash, yes. अब देखो, अब एक सवाल देखेंगे, इसमें सब क्लियर हो जाएगा. इसमें buoyant force भी डालेंगे. ये सवाल देखो क्या है. इसमें I have a solid of density rho s. It's inside a liquid of density rho L. Yes, Sumit. And I have given you the coefficient of viscosity of that liquid as eta. The radius, this is a spherical solid. The radius is R. For those who forgot the result already, I've written the result over here. This is my viscous force ka formula. Okay. At some instant, let that object's velocity be v. At some instant, let its velocity be v. I want you to do two things. The first thing is find the acceleration of the sphere at this instant. Okay. Now this is going to have a big answer. So if you don't want to type it down, that's fine. You can maybe just solve it and maybe just write it down and keep, and you can cross check when I show the answer. Find the acceleration of the sphere at this instant. Simple hai, fluid mechanics pata hai tumhe. In addition to all you have learnt in fluid mechanics, एक नया force तुम्हें सिखाया. वो ये force भी use कर लो. In addition to whatever you have done in fluid mechanics. Okay. तो उतना hint दे रहा हूँ. Find the acceleration of the sphere. And the second thing is find the steady state velocity. Matlab the terminal velocity, the final velocity of the sphere. Because we know the scene is going to be such कि ये नीचे अगर है ना ग्रेविटी इसको नीचे खींचेगा, एज ग्रेविटी इसको नीचे खींचेगा, इसका स्पीड बढ़ते जाएगा, बट एज स्पीड बढ़ते जाएगा ये ऊपर वाला विस्कस फोर्स भी बढ़ते जाएगा. एक पॉइंट ऐसा आएगा व्हेन फाइनली ऊपर वाला फोर्स इतना बड़ा होगा कि नेट फोर्स ऑन दिस ऑब्जेक्ट बिकम्स जीरो. Right? So after that its velocity won't change. So there is a final velocity. Find that. Okay. Try kar lo. And trust me, they can't ask anything more in Stokes law. There aren't more variations. ऐसे ही है मतलब. That question is, that formula is for just one type of question. So just take your time, try to solve this. Any other question I may give will look like an exact carbon copy. तो ये वाला कर लो. First wala answer, bas write it somewhere and cross check with me while I show the answer. If it's too big to type. Yes, Parth. टर्मिनल वेलोसिटी का फॉर्मूला भी है, वो इसी से आएगा. टर्मिनल वेलोसिटी का फॉर्मूला. आई एम मेकिंग यू डिराइव दैट. वो मतलब वो उतना तुम डिराइव कर सकते हो. यस यस तन्मय, यस यश. Guys, think at least of the forces that are acting. Kushal, that's यार वॉल्यूम मिस किया तूने. That's what makes it a little bigger than what you've written. Volume मिस किया. Rho into volume will be mass. Okay, for those still wondering what's going on, yes, Parth, very nice. One of you is asking, is the volume mentioned? Radius is enough for you to write the volume. Find the volume. Ayush, I think that's correct. Yeah, that's correct. Very nice. Good, yeah. हाँ, तो एक प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, जैसे like some of your accelerations were this by mass, so you're missing some forces. Like मैंने तो तुम्हें viscous force अभी पढ़ाया, that doesn't mean all of what we learned before has suddenly become irrelevant, है ना? तो अब तक क्या पढ़ा है हमने? We know that an object below water will experience what? Viscous force तो अभी अभी पढ़ा है. It will experience a little bit more as well. What else will it experience? Buoyant force, very nice, which has nothing to do with viscous force. Buoyant force pressure के कारण होता है ना? That's normal के कारण, मतलब it's force perpendicular to the surface and this is force along the surface. तो एक buoyant force होगा, viscous force होगा, और जो 10th के पहले भी सीखा, वेट होगा, ग्रेविटी होगा. इन तीन का तुम्हें रिजल्टेंट का निकाल, मतलब इन तीन का रिजल्टेंट निकालना पड़ेगा व्हाइल फाइंडिंग एक्सेलरेशन. हाँ बाबा, स्मॉल आर, ये तो मैं जस्ट तुम्हें फॉर्मूला याद दिलाने के लिए मैंने लिखा है. स्मॉल आर रहेगा वो. यस पार्थ, कुशल. हाँ. यस अपूर्व. थोड़ा रो एल मिसिंग है वो टर्म में. and I'm asking the final velocity. ठीक है, डिस्कस करें. okay. Sarthak, that sounds correct. Yeah, sounds correct. Okay guys, one more minute, huh? Yes, and मैं. Those who are getting it, keep solving. जिनको अब तक कुछ आया नहीं, just for them I'll explain. So the scene is कि this object is experiencing weight, obviously, is experiencing buoyant force. Ayush, yes, we'll come to that. Is experiencing buoyant force in the upward direction. And it's also experiencing viscous force. Buoyant force तो ऊपर होता ही है. Waiting room में कोई है? Yeah, okay, thanks. Buoyant force तो ऊपर होता ही है. Yes, I brought him in. Buoyant force ऊपर होता ही है. Viscous force velocity के opposite होता है, because the particle is going down. Viscous force upwards होगा. Let's find the downward acceleration. You could also have found the upward acceleration. Accordingly, your answer would have been negative of mine. I'm finding the downward acceleration. Okay. अब downward acceleration is what? Net downward force is equal to mass into downward acceleration. The downward force कितना हो गया? Weight minus buoyancy minus Fv. Simple. तो acceleration क्या हो जाएगा? Weight minus buoyant force minus viscous force upon mass. अब एक एक करके ये टर्म बस केयरफुली अब लिख लो, डायरेक्टली लिख सकते हो. वेट क्या होगा? फर्स्ट टर्म सॉलिड का डेंसिटी इनटू सॉलिड का वॉल्यूम 4/3 pi r cube into g, ये हो गया वेट, माइनस बॉयंट फोर्स, वो क्या हो जाएगा, लिक्विड का डेंसिटी into submerged volume, but the entire solid is submerged. The submerged volume becomes again volume of the sphere into g. ये हो गया buoyant force, ऊपर की तरफ है इसलिए माइनस साइन आ रहा है. एंड फिर viscous force हो जाएगा 6 pi eta r current velocity. Okay, so this is my numerator, w minus v minus fv. Denominator हो जाएगा mass, mass already तैयार है, rho s 4/3 pi r cube. So this is my acceleration. You may have simplified this, you may have left it as it is. Either way, if you've done this, you have understood what you have to do. Basically, you've understood how to find acceleration. Okay? Any doubts so far? Next wala, the next part is find the steady state velocity. So this should remind you of that boat problem that we just did. If you remember, steady state velocity matlab velocity constant. Yes, Baba, you can simplify this. I'm not here to teach division. मैं आता है division, तुम simplify कर सकते हो. सामने options रहेगा exam में, options देख के simplify करो. ठीक है? We are, of course, we are trying to focus more on physics, so we're not going to waste time cancelling things out and all. I'm sure you know how to simplify this and pick the right option. But this is, if you have done this, you basically know how to find acceleration. Point proven. The second thing is, as some of you are saying, for the steady state velocity, we know ki that will be at an instant when the velocity has become constant. When the velocity is constant, acceleration is 0, and therefore net force is 0. ठीक है? Net force is 0 मतलब नीचे वाला weight, कोई पूछ रहा है why did I take acceleration down, ऐसे ही आंसर रिपोर्ट करने के लिए you just come on, these are basics of laws of motion. Acceleration निकालना है तो assume a direction and figure out the acceleration in terms of that direction. So this is my acceleration downward. If you have taken it upward and you have written fv plus b minus w, then your answer is also correct. Our answers are the same. Your answer will be negative of my answer and upward. ठीक है? Proceed करने के लिए कोई तो एक direction assume करके आगे बढ़ो. Alright, at steady state, velocity is going to be constant, acceleration is 0. तो एक तो पिछले equation जो acceleration है उसमें भी 0 equate करके आंसर निकाल सकते हो, वहां से भी आंसर निकाल सकते हो, या fresh solve कर रहे हो तो acceleration is 0 मतलब net force is 0. Net force is 0 मतलब नीचे वाला force is ऊपर वाला force. तो weight is buoyant force plus Fv. Weight is rho solid 4/3 pi r cube g. Buoyant force is rho liquid 4/3 pi r cube g. Viscous force is 6 pi eta rv. ठीक है? Very simple. Please remember that Stokes law. और वहां से बस cancel out some things. I think pi cancel हो रहा है और ये जो r है r को r cancel हो रहा है, तो यहाँ पे r cube का r square हो जाएगा, r cube का r square हो जाएगा. ठीक? So and then just rearrange the terms and you'll get your answer. Don't forget what you wanted to find. You wanted to find v. सब कुछ वहां ले लो, 4/3 g कॉमन ले लो, 4/3 g कॉमन ले लिया, रो s माइनस रो l हो गया, और फिर यहाँ पे 6 और ईटा को नीचे भेज दो, 6 और ईटा को नीचे भेज दिया, आर स्क्वायर भी कॉमन ले लिया. ठीक है? एंड वहां से वेलोसिटी का आंसर आ गया. सो इन दिस केस, आई मीन in this specific case, I think I was talking about a body which is going down. This was a heavier object. So this comes out to be the final velocity when your object solid is heavier. Similarly, the reverse could also be true. If you release a light wooden sphere from the bottom of an ocean, and by the time the wooden sphere comes up, you'll find ki, given sufficient length, it will also acquire a steady state velocity. बस उस केस में आंसर रो एल माइनस रो एस होगा, रो एस माइनस रो एल की जगह. Going up, it will be a different scene. Okay. So this result that we have derived is the result for our steady state velocity. You can remember this as a formula, but I would suggest always derive this. There are a lot of terms here. You can easily forget why, um, why commit extra to your memory when you can easily derive this. I don't think this is difficult to derive. देख लो कुछ डाउट है क्या? नहीं, इसमें इंटीग्रेशन नहीं होगा. This is the terminal state, and if you're asking, will they ask me velocity as a function of distance? That they will not ask, because I checked that out, and the integration is not a simple integration. So they will not ask you to find velocity as a function of distance also, or velocity as a function of time. They will directly ask you final velocity. Yeah. Because the integration you can write the differential equation, but integrating that is not easy. You learn in maths that not every function is integrable easily, or sometimes is not integrable at all. All right. हो गया ये लिख के. ऊपर अगर जा रहा है तो रो एल, यू कैन चेक दैट आउट, यू कैन डिराइव इट. तब ऊपर वाला फोर्स एफ ई होगा, नीचे वाला फोर्स बॉयंट नहीं, ऊपर वाला फोर्स बॉयंट फोर्स होगा, नीचे डब्ल्यू और एफ ई होगा, है ना. तो अकॉर्डिंगली इक्वेशन आ जाएगा उसमें बी माइनस डब्ल्यू के रो एल माइनस रो एस हो जाएगा. रो एल माइनस रो एस हो जाएगा. दैट्स द ओनली डिफरेंस. इफ इट्स गोइंग अप इट बी रो एल माइनस रो एस. It's going down rho s minus rho l. Okay. So let me just write that as a result. क्या था यार? 2r square g by 9 eta rho s minus rho l. Okay, and this is in the case if sinking. This I'll just add this extra line. If sinking, this is the case, and if it's rising given sufficient length, if it's rising, then given sufficient length, the formula will be the same thing. But if it's rising, then है ना, क्या हो जाएगा तुम्हारा liquid का density ज्यादा होगा. Imagine like a wooden sphere is rising from the bottom of a deep lake. तो ऐसा result आ जाएगा. ठीक है. And तुम खुद से approve करके देख सकते हो कि this is indeed the result. So this is if rising given sufficient length. It's 9 eta, 9 eta, okay, not n, eta, quotient of viscosity. Sufficient length मतलब terminal velocity attain करने के लिए तो length चाहिए ना. If I release a wooden object from the bottom of a small pool, it may not have enough time to attain that velocity. So you need enough length to attain that velocity. So if I release a small wooden sphere from the bottom of a large tank or a deep lake or something, deep tank, usme by the time it comes up, it may have time to attain that velocity. Okay. You don't need to memorize this. You can always derive this. You can always derive this. Rugved same होगा. The minute you throw the stone out, boat का buoyant force. So one of you is asking, if I throw a stone out and the stone is sinking, and will the water level be different when it's sinking or when it's at the bottom? So sinking with terminal velocity or at the bottom. Either way, जैसे ही तुमने stone बाहर फेंका, boat कितना submerged था वो readjust हो गया, तो boat का buoyant force change होके कोई value बन गया. And stone पे तो buoyant force is quite straightforward. Density, volume submerged into G. So neither of the buoyant forces are different. So because buoyant forces are the same, volume displaced will be the same. You don't need to worry about that. When you throw a stone out, है ना, जो result है, I don't remember क्या result था. I think water level falls result था. I'm not wrong. That result will be the same in all cases. गिरते वक्त stone गिरते वक्त भी वही रहेगा और नीचे पहुंचने पे भी वही result होगा. Okay, cool. हो गया ये जिसको देखना था लिख के हो गया. Okay. यहाँ पे just so I mean that's it. I can't no, there's no, the only way to find the distance the ball needs to attain terminal velocity, the only way to find that is by integration, and you can't do that integration. It's something you can't do. Okay? It's a difficult integration. It's not in your, it's not going to be expected of you. All right. Now, इसमें तो वही type का direct formula based सवाल ही आ सकता है. There isn't any variation. I can maybe just ask you one theoretical question. So the question is, the terminal velocity of a raindrop depends on which of the following? Okay, the terminal velocity of a raindrop depends on okay, so your options are eta of air, eta of water, density of air, a simple one, density of water. By water we of course mean the raindrop, the radius of the drop. Select as many as applicable. Very nice. सही है. सार्थक सही है. And ऋग्वेद सही है, यश सही है, शिवांग सही है, सानिका सही है. Question ये है, question, terminal velocity of a raindrop depends on which of the following? If I'm not taking your name, सही नहीं है. सानिध्य सही है. You have to pick all. Fifth one is radius of the drop. शुभम सही है, पूर्ण सही है. Alright, so Shreya सही है. It's actually quite simple. You already have the formula on the previous page. So you do know it depends on radius of the drop. You do know it depends on both the densities. Okay. But which viscosity does it depend on? Whose viscosity does it depend on? So if you compare this with the ball falling through water question, you'll realize ki it doesn't really depend on the viscosity of the sphere. The sphere need not be a liquid, need not even be a liquid. That force depends on the viscosity of the surrounding medium, the medium it is falling in. So naturally, in this case, we do not care about the viscosity of the raindrop. The raindrop could have been a solid sphere also, we'll get the same answer. It's dependent on the viscosity of air. Our answer in this case will be 2/9 eta. किसका eta? Air का eta. ठीक है? And then again radius of the drop ka square. That was all quite obvious. Main thing was the fact कि किसका eta ले रहा है. So just be aware of that. And यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा? वहाँ पे rho solid minus rho liquid था. यहाँ पे it's going to be rho of, what is the sphere in this case? The sphere is water. So rho water minus rho of the surrounding medium, rho air. Okay. So that is actually going to be answer. So your answer is actually 1, 3, 4, and 5. Any multiple choice question, yeah, you have to pick all the right answers. So it's not 2, but it's 1. Yeah, raindrop will fall into a water body and then inside it will travel. But can you imagine, yeah, once raindrop hits water, does it continue moving as a drop? Raindrop तो air में ही दिखता है ना, तो पानी को hit करने के बाद बस splash create होगा और क्या, गया raindrop. Raindrop eta water पे depend नहीं करता है. It doesn't depend on this. That's the point. पिछले question में raindrop is like the sphere in this question. Okay, the terminal velocity depended on eta of the medium surrounding the sphere. यहाँ पे भी that was the main thing to think about. यहाँ पे terminal velocity depends on the viscosity of the medium surrounding the drop. The raindrop has its own viscosity, but that is irrelevant in this context. It's irrelevant in this context. Yeah, you could, I mean, question के values के हिसाब से, I mean, of course, you could ignore density of air as well. Okay, but yeah, this is just for your information. So अब इसमें, you know, if you've ever wondered, I mean, these people who fire bullets into the air, you know, our laws of physics should tell us कि यार bullet, you fire it in the air, क्या work energy theorem क्या बताएगा? जितने स्पीड से तुम ऊपर फायर करोगे उतने ही स्पीड से गिरेगा, है ना? So can you imagine how dangerous it would be to, like, a fool fire a bullet into the air? जिस पे भी गिरने वाला है, it's gonna be as good as firing downwards on their head. But this fact कि जितने स्पीड से ऊपर गया उतने ही स्पीड से नीचे आता है, all of that is valid if we ignore air resistance. Thankfully, due to air resistance, of course bullet नीचे आएगा, escape थोड़ी करेगा, but thankfully due to air resistance, क्या होता है कि this bullet slows down as it goes up and it slows down as it comes down. So when it comes down, normally it comes with a terminal velocity which is not too high. It will be large, but it will not come back at the same speed with which you fired the bullet. Okay? But either way, it's really foolish to fire a bullet into the air. Yeah, it's still gonna cause some damage wherever it lands. All right. I have not experimented to see whether it could kill, but yeah. One of you saying this is the reason why God created fiction, so that people firing bullets into the air don't end up. Okay, very nice, good. So that's it. That's it for Stokes' law. अब just for your information, ठीक है, there is one equation which you may see in your booklet, ठीक है, you may also see this in the HCV, okay. अब ये इसके बारे में बस इतना बता देता हूं, ठीक है, it's called as Poiseuille's equation, ठीक है, and I'll just tell you what it is. कुछ derive नहीं कर रहा हूं, you'll pretty soon see why. This is you, ठीक है, you're gonna see that you don't need to worry about the spelling and all. This is when liquid flows through a tube, okay. This is for liquid flowing through a tube, ठीक है, एंड इसका फॉर्मूला आता है ऐसा कुछ, ठीक है, ऐसा आता है फॉर्मूला. एंड क्यों मैं इतना जल्दबाजी में पढ़ा रहा हूँ, wherever you see this, ignore. Wherever you see this, ignore it. Why? Because this is not in your syllabus, ठीक है, this is not explicitly not in your advanced, mains or need syllabus, ठीक है, for whoever sees this उनके लिए लिख रहा हूँ. This is not in your syllabus. Your syllabus explicitly excludes this. Your syllabus is only for viscosity, it's only that simple formula, Stokes law, and then something else called as Reynolds number. ये तुम्हारे syllabus में नहीं है, ठीक है, तो क्यों लिखा कहीं किधर भी, I think your booklet sometimes, so HCV is not a book only written for JEE Advanced. HCV is a book on physics. You have some chapters in HCV which we'll never really cover for your JEE Advanced exam. See? So the chapters that are there, it's very much relevant, but otherwise there are certain things which are not in your syllabus. So it's your teacher's job to tell you which is not in your syllabus. Advanced, mains, NEET में ये है नहीं. साफ साफ, if you check the syllabus, you can see it's written explicitly. I am just telling you this so that तुमने अगर ये फॉर्मूला देखा या तुमने ऐसा कुछ क्वेश्चन देखा, आई थिंक बुकलेट में कुछ तो एक जगह ऐसा दिया है, या तुमने है ना ये इक्वेशन का नाम, ये नाम किधर भी देखा, जस्ट मूव पास्ट इट, डोंट वेस्ट योर टाइम इन इट, दैट्स नॉट इन योर सिलेबस. ये सब नहीं देखना है, इसलिए मैं तुम्हें बता रहा हूँ. क्या नहीं देखना है वो बता रहा हूँ. ईटा का पावर नहीं है, वो एल है. एल इज द लेंथ ऑफ द ट्यूब. बट हाँ, पॉइंट है, ये दिख रहा है तो प्लीज जस्ट इग्नोर. हाँ, पी इज प्रेशर यार. I'm just writing this so that you know key if to ignore this. You cover all this only in your engineering. You don't need to worry about any of this for now. ठीक है, जो है सिलेबस में उससे हर क्वेश्चन सॉल्व होना चाहिए. जो सिलेबस में नहीं है, डोंट वेस्ट योर प्रेशियस टाइम. Okay, let me know when you're done with this. We'll see what Reynolds number is. लिखना नहीं है, मतलब तुम्हारे लिए मैं बस बता रहा हूँ, तुम्हें लिखना है, लाइक नहीं लिखना है, मतलब at least note Poiseuille's equation not in syllabus. उतना याद करो. ऐसा मैं पूरा क्यों लिख रहा हूँ, because sometimes you may know Poiseuille's equation is not in the syllabus, but while solving the booklet you are seeing liquid flowing through a tube, and then you're struggling and struggling and struggling to solve the question with all the formulas you know, and you're wasting time, and then solution you see something like this, and then you're wondering and wondering कहाँ से आ रहा है. इसलिए मैंने तुम्हें बताया है, ठीक है, कि this is not in your syllabus. Tanmay, we'll have to arrange some extra doubt session for that. And maybe one of the evenings you guys are free, you can take the fluid mechanics doubts. बुकलेट एक्चुअली अलग अलग टीचर बनाते हैं, तो विच एवर टीचर made this chapter, I think they may have put it reading the HCV, but if you check all your syllabus, all 3 syllabuses, you'll find that this is not there. Okay, all right. या जो नहीं है उसे कॉपी करने में ज्यादा टाइम मत लगाओ. Okay, done. The next one is Reynolds number. Okay, Reynolds number. This is not my dog. Staying in my in-laws' place, so that was their dog and their cat. I'll show after class. इनको देखना है. Reynolds number, कुछ भी, let's take any symbol, yeah, for them, for this, let's maybe use a symbol RE. Okay? तो ये जो Reynolds number है, this is, it's a number, it's a parameter which tells you how steady or how turbulent the flow is. Okay, so this is a parameter which tells you how steady or how turbulent the flow is. This is like that. Again, this is all experimental. Okay, this is a parameter. I'll give you more details. This is a parameter which tells us how steady or how turbulent the flow is when a liquid flows through a tube. Okay? The liquid flows through a tube. So it tells us how steady or how turbulent the flow is when the liquid flows through a cylindrical tube. So again, this formula is only for a very specific case. Liquid flowing through a cylindrical tube के लिए ही we can use this formula. तो अब इसमें what is the formula? So we see that our Reynolds number depends on the density of the liquid. It depends on the velocity of the liquid, depends on the diameter, right? What D means, diameter of the tube, and it depends on the coefficient of viscosity of the liquid. So we can understand rho and eta. We'll just write those terms. This is of course of the liquid, density and coefficient of viscosity of the liquid. V is the velocity, again of the liquid. Who else? And D is the diameter of the tank, of the tube. D is the diameter of the tube. So this is your Reynolds number. Okay, अब सवाल कैसा आएगा? कुछ नहीं, वैल्यूज देंगे, बोलेंगे निकालो रेनॉल्ड्स नंबर. okay? अब ये रेनॉल्ड्स नंबर को देख के we can interpret whether the flow is steady, whether it's turbulent, or whether it is somewhere in between. Okay, and I'll talk about that. But फिलहाल this is the formula. ये जल्दी कॉपी कर लो. Rho Vd by nu. Remember this formula. More, you take a guess now. One of you is asking me, more Reynolds number means more steady or more turbulent. Take a guess. क्या लगता है ये देख के? ये V को देख के क्या लगता है? More turbulent. Very nice. ज्यादा वेलोसिटी मतलब ज्यादा टर्बुलेंट है ना. We have at least that mental association. High speeds पे turbulent होगा, तो more Reynolds number means more turbulent. the greater the chance of it being turbulent. Okay. अब Reynolds number देख के they sometimes ask us to categorize as, इसमें एक चीज है, just one point to be aware of. Reynolds number का units should be unitless. It should just be a number. Okay, so how do we see that? You can substitute and see the density is, substitute everything in SI, kg by meter cube. Velocity is meter per second. Diameter is of course in meters. Okay, and quotient of viscosity, I think this was Newton second by meter square, if I'm not wrong. Okay, तो इसको जब तुम substitute करोगे, you can actually cross check and see that they all cancel out. Newton is itself kg meter per second square. तो दिख रहा है क्या? सब कुछ कट रहा है. Meter cube, meter raised to 4 by meter, so that's meter cube in the numerator, and then there is नहीं, ये मीटर क्यूब नीचे है, so sorry. तो ध्यान से देखोगे कट जाएगा, मतलब यहाँ पे बाई मीटर न्यूमरेटर में है और यहाँ पे भी मीटर बाय मीटर स्क्वायर, बाई मीटर डिनोमिनेटर में, तो मीटर कट जाएगा. सेकंड स्क्वायर भी थोड़ा ध्यान से देख लो, सेकंड बाय सेकंड स्क्वायर, बाई सेकंड, ऊपर बाई सेकंड, नीचे बाई सेकंड कट जाएगा, ऊपर केजी नीचे केजी कट जाएगा. तो यू कैन check that this cancels out and becomes unitless. ठीक है, so this is unitless. This is unitless. All right, so this gives you 1. This is unitless. So what you should remember is Reynolds number, you'll always expect it to be unitless. So therefore, always substitute eta in, always substitute viscosity in SI units, not in poise. Not in poise. That's a mistake the HCV has made. Always substitute eta in the SI units, not in poise. HCV का एक last question में, इस exercise के last question में, they've asked Reynolds number but they've messed it up. They've substituted eta in poise. And इसलिए answer गलत है last question का. Always substitute eta in SI units. Because only when you substitute in SI units, you get Reynolds number as a number, as a unitless number. ये golden rule याद कर लो. Not applicable for any other pipe. खुद सोचो ना, दूसरे पाइप में what sense does diameter make? Okay. So different, each pipe will have its own formula. So things are endless. Here in your 11th, just giving a small introduction into the world of fluid dynamics. Real engineering is a lot bigger. The golden rule is this one in green. Always substitute coefficient of viscosity in SI units, not in poise. Okay. It has to be substituted in SI units. One SI unit is 10 poise. One poise is 0.1 SI units. Always substitute it in SI units, not in poise. हो गया लिख के ये पेज बता दो. ओके, तो इसमें नाउ अब ये थोड़ा केयरफुली ध्यान दो. इसमें क्या है, वी से कि व्हेन रेनॉल्ड्स नंबर इज लेसर देन सम नंबर, इट्स स्टेडी फ्लो, and when Reynolds number is greater than some number, it's predominantly turbulent flow. Okay, The thing is, different books give different numbers. So if you see your HCV, will say कि steady flow will be true when Reynolds number is less than 2000. Don't copy this yet. ये HCV बोलता है. And it will say कि turbulent flow will be when Reynolds number is greater than 3000. So different people say different things. Your booklet to says turbulent flow is when Reynolds number is greater than 5000. Because at the end, these are just objectives. These are just adjectives. It's about how steady, how turbulent. कितने level से कम हम steady बोलेंगे, कितने level से ज़्यादा turbulent बोलेंगे. It's all about that. So ये जो value है, ये HCV के हिसाब से है. Now your HCV says one thing, your Google may say another thing, your booklet says another totally different thing, your NCRT says a different thing. Who should you believe in the end? For your exam, you have to follow the NCRT. That's the golden rule. जो NCRT बोलता है, in the end you have to follow that. तो Reynolds number NCRT बोलता है 1000 से कम steady है, चुपचाप वही follow करेंगे. Reynolds number, any discrepancy, always follow the NCRT, even if it's incorrect. यहाँ पे तो कोई ज़्यादा है ना, it's all debatable. You can't say one is incorrect, the other is correct. But जो भी NCRT बोलता है, even if it's incorrect, you'll always for your exam, if you want to get marks right, you'll have to follow the NCRT. सही क्या गलत क्या वो छोड़ दो. Yeah, it's all about different people saying कि हम यहाँ तक इसको steady बोलेंगे. It's all about tolerance. Okay, so ये जो NCRT है इसको follow. तो NCRT बोलता है less than 1000 is steady, greater than 2000 is turbulent, and between 1000 to 2000 it's unstable. Unstable means can suddenly change from one type to another, can suddenly change from steady to turbulent, or turbulent to steady. Okay, universally kuch it's like did you do good in an exam, did you do bad in an exam, है ना, or did you do average. अब good, average, bad का universal कुछ नहीं है. It depends on, है ना, what you expect of yourself. You may say अरे I did well, I did good. Your parents may say अरे you did bad. Yeah, so it's all based on the context. वैसे ही सीन है यहाँ पे. ठीक है. As Reynolds number increases, it becomes less steady, more turbulent. Different physicists decide to have different tolerances, and they set different boundaries. NCRT has said below 1000 is steady, above 2000 is turbulent. I don't know what they've referred to, but जो NCRT, you can cross check if you have an NCRT at home, verify for yourself and see. जो NCRT बोलता है वो सही है. Even if you don't verify, trust. I've checked this out. This is what the NCRT says. यही follow करेंगे. All right. ठीक है, इसमें अब कुछ प्रैक्टिस सवाल के नाम पे कुछ नहीं है यार. डेंसिटी देंगे, वेलोसिटी देंगे, डायमीटर देंगे, ईटा देंगे, और कुछ नहीं है. तुम कैलकुलेट करोगे, कैलकुलेट करके जो आंसर आएगा उसके हिसाब से यू विल से कि whether it's steady or whether it's turbulent. Okay. Cool. So that concludes viscosity. यार बस मत बोलो यार, थोड़ा और टाइम है ना, थोड़ा एटलीस्ट सरफेस टेंशन थोड़ा फील लेंगे, सरफेस टेंशन का थोड़ा स्टार्ट करेंगे. I'll wait. Yeah, I'll wait. Let me know when you're done. Waiting. Everyone's crying. थोड़ा और करते हैं. Let's not. Let's not end it early. (8:30 तक है क्या? It's not till 8:45 like other days. एक मिनट. Okay, fine. Classes start half an hour early. Oh, okay. चलो देखते हैं, स्टार्ट करते हैं थोड़ा सा. 21. क्या वेट यार, I was for so long on that page. चलो surface tension थोड़ा देख लेते हैं. Okay. So हाँ ठीक है, स्टार्ट तो कर लेते हैं. So basically what happens is the surface of a liquid, behaves differently yeah, no question on yeah, somebody is showing off that they have a bike. No question on Reynolds number. I'll give you a homework question. It's quite straightforward. बस formula based है. Rho v d eta डालना है formula में और उसका value के हिसाब से answer देखना है. Okay. The surface of a liquid behaves differently than the rest. I hope that's correct grammar. Than the rest of the liquid. Yeah, you'll find that this behaves differently than the rest of the liquid. Why is this true? Because the molecules on the surface in fact, let me say this, because while the molecules inside the liquid experience equal attractive forces from all sides, because while molecules inside the liquid experience equal attractive forces from all sides, molecules on the surface experience unbalanced forces. Yeah, you can say unequal forces due to different media on either side. Okay, so इसमें क्या होता है, a liquid, ठीक है, लिक्विड के जो अंदर जो मॉलिक्यूल्स है, they are uniformly surrounded by liquid molecules. So because they are uniformly surrounded by liquid molecules, they experience balance forces from all sides, है ना? But the molecules on the surface of a liquid, they are going to experience something a little different. Why? Because उसके एक तरफ liquid है, एक तरफ liquid है, but दूसरी तरफ एक दूसरा medium है. So the kind of force it experiences from that side is going to be a little different. Okay? As opposed to a molecule inside the liquid. A molecule inside the liquid experiences perfectly balanced forces. Now, due to this difference in forces from that side and this side, you'll find that this liquid is always trying to, in a way, reduce its surface area. It's always in a state of tension, because on one hand it wants to go in, but going in is not going to be the solution. Why is going in not going to be the solution? Because if it goes in, somebody else has to come out, and then it's the same story. So a liquid, you'll find always then it tries to decrease its surface area. Now, for instance, you may, if you look at mercury, okay, for instance, if you, even if you try to, या इसको मतलब एक बस थॉट एक्सपेरिमेंट की तरह समझते हैं गाइस. चलो आई एम ठीक है, आई एम रैपिंग अप. ठीक है, ऑलमोस्ट रैपिंग अप. एक चीज बस इतना समझ लो. ठीक है, अ लिक्विड ऑलवेज ट्राइज टू डिक्रीज इट्स सरफेस एरिया, क्योंकि अंदर से जो पुल है there's always greater than जो बाहर से जो एयर से पुल आ रहा है. So it's always going to try and decrease its surface area. So in fact, if you have a glass of water and you leave that glass of water in zero gravity, in other words, you allow water to rearrange its shape, you're going to find that water ultimately ends up taking a spherical shape. Because out of all the shapes, in the spherical shape, it has minimum possible area. So that's again something we're going to uncover in this chapter. But Philal, because of these difference in forces, this surface behaves a little different, and it basically always behaves, the surface of a liquid always behaves like a stretched rubber sheet. It always behaves like a stretched rubber sheet. Agar contract ho sakta hai, to hota hai. Always behaves like a stretched rubber sheet. And since you guys are really insisting, I'll maybe stop at that point. So, and we'll pick up this idea again in the next class. Itna likh lo at least. Due to these asymmetric, due to the asymmetric distribution of forces, the surface of a liquid is always in a state of tension. And can be imagined to behave, like a stretched rubber sheet. Okay. So just let's end on that. I'll stop here. Can be imagined. क्या लिख रहा था? Always in a state of can be imagined to behave like a stretched rubber sheet. चलो इतना लिख लो, इस आइडिया को और समझा देता हूँ. think you guys have had a long day. let's wrap up over here. I'll show you the dog and the cat. See you. Bye. Yes. Okay. एक मैं stop share कर लेता हूँ. I'll upload this में, हाँ, दिखा सकता हूँ बाद में. Almost. Okay. That's all right. अरे, हाँ. That's the dog. The noisy one. And this is the cat. She's a little shy. Yeah, this one's Fifi. Like FIFA. Fifi. This one is a very cliched name, Timmy. So they're not mine. I'm at my in-laws' place. With that, let's end it over here. Yeah, they don't fight. They don't fight. They've learned to live together. Good night. But ये क्या हुआ? कब से 3 बजे से start हो रहा है? What are your timings? 3 to what? First lecture is only for this week. Okay, fine. Cool, yeah. Chalo, bye. Rest well. Take care. Bye.